Today we have a dowel class. So a dowel is basically, this one is made of wood, but you can also use like a broom handle or a curtain rod or anything that looks like that. It just has to roll. If you have massage balls, you can also use those for the feet, but we're gonna do different body parts today as well. So begin by placing the dowel on the floor. And then we're gonna stand in Tadasana. Just notice both feet. Start by placing both feet hip distance apart. Take your shoulders up, back and down. Crown of the head reaches up to the ceiling. Feel free to close your eyes at any time throughout this practice. The back of the knees are soft. Head stacking over spine and shoulders stacking over pelvis. Pelvis over feet. And then let's shift the weight forward to the toes and shift the weight back to the heels. We're just going to do this a few times to start feeling the feet underneath us. So shifting back and forth. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see it better. So shifting forward, shifting back and forward. Still keeping the rest of the body in one straight line as much as you can. And let's do a couple more shifts. And shifting back. And then we're going to shift side to side. So stay in Tadasana and then shifting to the outer edge of one foot and then to the outer edge of the other foot and shifting to one side and then the other, and just notice, start to feel the ground underneath you. If at any point you'd like to stop and lift your toes and spread them wide or bring them back down as you continue, so you can start to feel the feet taking more space, feel free to do that. And a couple more shifts to one side and then shifting to the other. And then we're going to do circles. So forward to one side, to the back, to the opposite side, in one direction first, and then I'll cue when to switch sides. And then imagine that the crown of the head is connected in one straight line with the ankles. And then last circle here. And then let's reverse. Let's do about 5 more circles. And then a couple more. And then the last one. And then back to the center, back to Tadasana, and just notice, feel free to close your eyes, just a few breaths here. Notice the area underneath the feet. And a couple more cycles of breath. And if your eyes are closed, feel free to open your eyes and then look down to your feet. And we'll begin with the right foot. So take the ball of the foot on top of the dowel. And here you have one foot on the floor, one on the dowel. You may also do 2 feet on the dowel if you like. But I'll do one, then I'll tell you when to switch. And because you have one foot at the back, if you have one foot at the back, then you can shift as much weight as you like forward into the right ball of the foot. Keep breathing here. then we're gonna hold this for 5 more cycles of breath. If it gets too intense, just shift the weight back. And then start to exhale through the mouth. Just to feel the weight of the body releasing into the foot, because we want to feel the weight of the body as grounded as possible and as heavy as possible. And then let's do 3 more cycles. And 2 more. And the last one. And then slowly shift the weight to the foot or step both feet down. And then place the middle of the big toe on the dowel, and the rest of the toes will follow. Maybe the pinky toe might not make it, but that's okay. And again, same thing, just shifting weight and noticing. And you can wrap your toes around the dowel and press down as a way to be heavier on the dowel. And then a couple cycles of breath with exhaling through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, through the mouth, exhale, just to be heavy. Inhale through the nose, through the mouth, exhale. And then shift weight back to your back foot, or both feet step down. And then let's do the middle of the right foot. Middle of the right foot on the dowel, again, shift as much weight as you like. Continuing to exhale. And as you exhale, noticing the body getting heavy onto the dowel. Shifting forward or staying back. And then let's do 2 more cycles of breath, exhaling through the mouth. And again. And then the last thing we're going to do in this foot is the heel. So think of the bony part of the heel on the dowel. When you place the toes down on the mat, you can spread the toes wide just to feel grounded, and then lift the back heel off the floor so you can really shift all the weight onto the right heel. Or you can take more weight backwards by placing the back heel down. But really try to find the bony part of the right foot. And just keep breathing here. Continue to feel gravity pulling you down. And then 2 more cycles of breath. Another one. And then return the weight to the back foot and place both feet, if you're doing both feet, or the right foot back in Tadasana. And I want you to notice. So it's all about creating awareness. Notice the difference between the right and the left side. Feel free to close your eyes. Finding the stacking of the spine and finding the weight distribution of your body between both feet. Noticing your breath. And then if your eyes are closed, start to float your eyes open, and we're going to switch feet. So taking the left ball of the foot on the dowel, or the foot you haven't done yet, or repeat both feet again if you've done both feet. Shifting weight forward. Notice how that feels. There is already a little bit of muscle memory in the body from the first foot that you did. So it starts to feel familiar. At least the pattern feels familiar. And then 2 cycles of breath here. Feeling heavy onto the dowel. And then shifting to the middle of the big toe. And then the rest of the toes fall in place on the dowel, and try to wrap your toes around the dowel. And again, shifting the weight forward toward the foot. Keep breathing here. Relaxing your facial muscles. Sometimes when it's painful, then we start to translate that pain onto the muscles of the face. So relax your jaw, relax your lips, forehead, around the eyes. And then 2 cycles of breath. Last one. And then let's go to the middle of the foot. So middle of the foot, shifting the weight. And as you are working on the left side, notice any left sensations on the right foot, because we've done this already on the right side. So notice also what you are still feeling on the right side. Don't forget about the right sole of the foot. And 2 cycles of breath. Last one. And then going to the heel, remember that it's the bony part of the heel that we want to work on here. Feel free to spread the toes wide. Continue to keep the stacking of the spine. And then 2 cycles of breath. And the second one. And then slowly coming back to your mat, releasing the foot or both feet back to Tadasana. Close your eyes and notice. Spread the toes wide. Left versus right and right versus left. Pressing the feet on the floor, notice what you notice. Just in your mind, any words that come to mind regarding the sensations of the feet. Start to grow tall through the spine. So it's almost like now you want to go the opposite direction by lifting up through the core, into the spine, upwards through the crown of the head. And a couple more breaths here. And then as you finish here, open your eyes, and we're going to find a sitting position. And feel free to use a cushion if you have one, or you can just sit straight on your mat. I'm going to use a blanket, a folded blanket. So if you have the cushion, sitting on the edge of the cushion. And then let's find Gomukhasana legs, cow face legs, just because we're not gonna really work on the legs yet, but just to open up the hips a little bit as we do the rest with the dowel. If this is too uncomfortable, you can always extend one leg forward. If it still doesn't work for you, just sit comfortably however you like. But I'm gonna keep cow face legs, just as I said, to work on the hips. So take your dowel and then place it on the right and bring your right arm up, and then bring the dowel behind you. Left arm out to the side, thumb faces down, find the dowel as you walk both hands along the dowel. Now here, press the back of the head into the dowel as you lengthen the spine. Continue to walk both hands closer to each other. Keep breathing here. Even if it's just holding the ends of the dowel, that's okay. And then staying here just for a few breaths. Continuing to press the back of the head into the dowel. And continue to think about reaching up and lengthening through the crown of the head up to the ceiling. Just what we established recently in Shavasana after we worked on the feet. And similar idea also with the feet. Don't forget about the feet. Still notice the sensations under the feet. And if your hands can go a little bit closer, go for it. Notice if your top elbow is going inwards, and try to press it back as much as you can. And stay here for 5 more cycles of breath. And 2 more cycles of breath, and no need to exhale through the mouth. Feel free to exhale through the nose. And then keep this shape and see if you can go forward. If it's not available, stay there. Continue to press top elbow toward the back space. And 3 more cycles of breath. And the last one. And then slowly, if your upper body is forward, return and stack your spine over the pelvis again. Release the left arm and the top hand and let's switch. But before we switch, actually place a dowel on the floor. Place both feet on the floor. Wrap your arms around your shins and then just let your chin relax to your chest. Head is heavy down toward the floor. And then slowly rolling back up, switching legs or switching the crossing of the legs, whatever you are doing. You can also do this sitting on a chair if you like, because here the emphasis is on the shoulders. So once you find your lower body position, hold the dowel with your left, bring it up, bring your arm behind you, right arm to the side, thumb faces down, so this means internal rotation of the shoulder. And then bring your right arm back, holding the dowel, walking your hands toward each other if it's available to you. Open top elbow backwards and press back of the head into the dowel. And breathe here. Draw spine upwards, so gently engage your core, belly to spine. So crown of the head is reaching upwards to the ceiling. If hands can walk closer to each other, go for it. And then 5 more cycles of breath. Leaning forward for 5 cycles of breath. And the last one. And then stacking the spine back over the pelvis, letting go of the bottom hand, placing dowel on the side, both feet on the floor, knees up to the ceiling, wrapping arms around the lower part of the legs, chin to chest, and relax, head heavy. And from the core, slowly begin to roll back up through the spine. So sitting with your legs straight, I'm going to turn sideways. Sitting with your legs straight in front of you, shoulders down, and then placing the dowel on the thighs. And place your heels of the palms on the dowel. You can lean forward a little bit if you like, and then very slowly start to roll your hands back. So until you get to the tip of the fingers, then you won't stop here. Once you get to the tip of the fingers, then roll forward. And then you can even go further and then start to add the wrists, the forearms, until maybe you get to the knees, and let the upper body go forward here. Once you get to the knees, start to go back. And you can put a bit more pressure there and then rolling forward. You can let the head be heavy, chin to chest, maybe close your eyes. Once you get to the knees, going back. And let's just do a couple more here. Put more pressure onto the thighs or onto the dowel. Maybe upper body softens forward a little bit more. Make sure your thighs are relaxed, legs are relaxed. And then let's do the last one here. And then you're slowly rolling back up through the spine. And let's place the dowel on this side. Remove any blankets you have underneath you or any props. And then we're gonna lie down, but we're not gonna stay lying down, we're gonna come back up. So place the dowel on this side, scooch forward. You can bring your hands forward or hands behind your thighs. And then slowly roll down through the spine here. Bring heels toward the pelvis, lift like you're moving into bridge pose, and place your dowel right on your sacrum. So the sacrum is the end of the spine, is that bone or a few bones that are fused that are in between the bones of the pelvis at the back. And find a place around, even if it's higher on the lower back, find a place there that might feel good to put some weight on. It's not going to be super relaxing because it is digging into muscles and the lower back tends to get sensitive. It's a very sensitive place. So you can stay in one area or you can slowly move it higher up, be toward the mid-back. Notice if it's digging too much into the bones of the spine. And what I'm doing right now is I'm keeping a little bit of weight on my feet and I'm playing with how much weight of my body I'm releasing on top of the dowel. If it's too much, then I can lift the pelvis and then separate my lower back or sacrum or mid-back from the dowel if needed right away. And then, so today I feel like toward the lower back is better for me. If I go further toward the sacrum, then it's not as much sensation. So play with the amount of sensation that you want to receive. and where you want it. And if you go a little bit further, maybe toward the glute area, you start to find other areas too there. So we're going to stay here for about 10 more cycles of breath. Stay in one place or find a new place. Feel free to close your eyes. Five more cycles of breath. And a couple more cycles of breath. And then slowly contract abdominal muscles, float eyes open, lift your pelvis up into bridge pose. Take the dowel, place it on the side. And then slowly come down to a fetal position to roll up to seated. So the last thing we're going to do is for the spine, and you can use a blanket or you can use the back of your mat. And what we're going to do is lift the mat maybe up to halfway the length of the mat and place the dowel underneath it and then the mat on top of the dowel. So the dowel is now alongside the mat. If you want more cushion, you can put blankets there. What we're going to do is support ourselves, and so the spine is bones stacked, and we're going to lie down on the dowel and then first of all target one side of the spine. And then we're gonna shift to the other side of the spine. So using the arms and the forearms to help yourself come down onto the dowel. And as I mentioned, we wanna find not right the bone of the spine on the dowel, but slightly to the side, so toward one shoulder blade more than the other. And then you might notice that your whole body is tilted one way. And because it's pressing the back of my head, I'm gonna put a cushion underneath the head. And then keeping both knees bent, feet on the floor. If this is too much, you can lie down on one side, come up to seated, maybe add extra cushion in there. I have a very thin yoga mat, so it's giving me more sensations. If you have a thicker yoga mat or a thicker blanket, then it's gonna give you less sensations. And then start to take both arms up toward the ceiling like you're holding onto a beach ball between the hands. And let's take a deep inhale here. You can soften the elbows. Through the mouth, exhale. And again, through the nose, inhale. Through the mouth, exhale. Last one, through the nose, inhale. And through the mouth, exhale. And then slowly open the arms. And now imagine like you have a tree, a huge tree in front of you, and you're hugging the tree. The arms don't have to come all the way down to the floor, but if it's available to you, let them rest on the floor. You can also stay halfway. Just breathe here, letting go. You can stay here, or you can go back and bring the arms back into holding that imaginary beach ball, and do it a few times. Bringing hands toward beach ball and then opening arms like you're hugging a huge tree. This is so we can start to connect to the sensations of the back space. And I have the dowel on my left side, so left side of the spine, still in between the shoulder blades, closer to the left shoulder blade. And this is good to know where you have it, because when we're done, we're gonna roll away from the dowel. But we're not done yet, just 5 more breaths here. And then the last cycle of breath. And then it's slowly starting to, if your dowel is on the left side toward the left shoulder blade, you're gonna roll to the right. If your dowel is on the right side toward the right shoulder blade, you're gonna roll to the left. So I'm gonna roll to my right because my dowel was on the left side. And then stay here, close your eyes in a fetal position on one side. Notice the back body. And a couple more breaths here. And then slowly go back to the dowel. And we're going to scooch to the other side of the spine. Tiny scooch. You might need to press the feet down, lift your pelvis as you move to the opposite side you haven't done yet. So now I'm bringing the dowel closer to the right shoulder blade. And you can start to take your hands up. Stay here. Imagine you're holding onto the beach ball for 5 cycles of breath. Close your eyes. And 2 more cycles of breath. And when you're ready, very slowly begin to open up the arms. And stay there with arms open wide, or once they arrive on the floor, slowly bring them back up. How slow can you move? And 5 more cycles of breath. The last cycle of breath. And then very slowly start to roll the body in the opposite direction from where the dowel is. Stay here for a few breaths, close your eyes and notice. And 2 more cycles of breath. And then slowly begin to press yourselves up to a sitting position. Let's remove the dowel from underneath the mat or the blankets. And then find Shavasana, relaxation. So if you'd like to use a blanket, feel free to use a blanket. And then slowly start to find your way to lying down on your mat. And letting both legs relax out to the sides. Hands relaxed by your sides, palms facing up. And close your eyes, chin is slightly into the chest to lengthen the back of the neck. And relax your eyes, your face, letting go of the neck. The chest and the pelvis relaxes. Letting go of your arms, of your legs. And notice the areas that we work today. So notice the soles of the feet. Notice the thighs, shoulders, along the spine, around the back of the hips and the lower back. And notice how those areas feel. Do they feel different than before? And as you notice, allowing each exhalation to last a little bit longer than the inhales. and then allowing to stay here for as long as you like. Thank you for practicing with us today. Have a lovely rest of your day. Namaste.